Welcome, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bless your hearts coming out to our plantation. Eric and I are so happy to have you this evening. Today, it finally got hot here in the South. It was 75 high. Just a couple nights ago, it was chilly. Today, we were able to get out as a family and go for a walk in the park. It was lovely. I started sweating hotter than a sinner in church. And you know what that's like. I'm sure you've seen some sinners in your day. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what's going on right now. I reckon you want to know what's going on in travel and the information about when you want to get out of your staycation. Some of us are starting to move around a little bit, but we're still somewhat in lockdown, and it depends on each state. I found a site that I was real happy with that just gives a short little blurb about each state and where they're at and what they're up to and how things are starting to progress in their area. And here we are a little slower. So we'll be going and finally following up in a bit. So I'd like to let you know about the updates. And right now the national parks, the American national parks are slowly opening up. We have the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee opened up earlier May. However, it was a bit of a cluster, you know what, because people were there and they were inundating the parking lots and the trails and going on trails that weren't necessarily open yet, and therefore not practicing the social distancing. So it is up to each park whether they want to open and when they will open. And there will be limited services. They want to make sure that the park staff is safe and they don't want to have any issues with the park staff. Some of them live on site. And so as you go there, you may not have the visitor center might not be open, and certainly not all trails are going to be open. So definitely need to know in advance, what each individual park is doing. But like I said, they're starting to open up, and we hope that they'll be able to stay open. And so we're super excited about that. And then we also have, who just joined us?
Celeste.
Hi, Celeste. How are you? Welcome. We're down here in the South, and it's 75 right now, and we are hot, hot, hot. So we're excited. So we're just talking about some updates in travel this week, and I was talking about how the national parks are opening up. And then I took a webinar this week and learned about Los Cabos, because that was our first happy hour that we had 2 weeks ago. And I just want to give you the update on there. There's going to be a 5-phase opening for them. And we were getting this information from the tourism board in Los Cabos. So right straight from them. They're actually implementing checkpoint certificates for hotels, and the transportation and the airports, and everybody is going to need to have this checkpoint certificate in order to operate, to make sure they're all following the guided protocols down there. And so it's going to be a 5-phase period, and they're going to start eventually letting in the people that might have second homes there in Los Cabos. And then eventually they're going to have small groups, wedding groups actually, that were supposed to have weddings in like April, and now they're moving them to maybe more like July or August. And then eventually tourists are going to be able to go, but that's looking, late fall, early beginning of the year type thing. And again, this is all fluid, so things could change, but this is what's going on right now. They have 2 terminals there at that airport, and Terminal 2 was going to be renovated. And so that was already going on before the pandemic started. And so all domestic and international right now are going through Terminal 1, but through this 5-phase period, they are going to open up the Terminal 2, which is the international. So that's a little bit to give you about what's going on in travel right now. People are starting to book things out in 2021. Waiting a little bit about 2020. Some people are booking 2020, but that probably will be slower to come. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Julie Johnston, JJ, with Travel Light by Julie, JJ. And I am your dream curator for fun, adventurous, luxury experiences. I assist aging travelers, busy professionals, and groups. And everybody loves to be active. I put together custom itineraries, and at the end of your itinerary, everybody's smiling. You always want to be coming back for more. So I've been fortunate to travel with my mama and my daddy. They've been dragging me around this world, and I thank them very much every day. And it's given me my passion, which I love to pass along to my clients and friends and family. And my specialties are Europe, the Caribbean, and Mexico. But like I said, I've been all over, and I'm happy to help. So I'd like to get into, now, where are my manners? My manners, I haven't even offered you a cold beverage. Who's online? Megan?
Megan.
Hi, Megan. How are you? Happy birthday to your father. 100th birthday. Mwah. We love that he used to travel, and we also been looking for the hummingbirds today, but not yet. But it was 75 here today, so it's hot, 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 and we're loving it. But I was just saying that I haven't even offered you guys a cold beverage. And tonight, before we get started, I'm going to have Mr. Eric here do a little travel trivia to kick us off. So get ready. How the travel trivia works is he's going to read a question twice, and whoever puts it in the fastest and who gets the most right will be the winner. And I'll announce that tomorrow after I've gone through the thread and see who has said what and got it right. So that's how we're going to do the travel trivia. And both of you, actually, Celeste and Megan, are our past two winners. So right now, you guys, it's go time. Who's got the fast fingers? Come on over here, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, darling. I much appreciate you having me here to read the trivia.
Why, thank you, sir.
Let me do the first one. Is ginger beer a beer or a soft drink today? Is ginger beer a beer or a soft drink today? Number 2, what type of mug is the Moscow Mule served in? What type of mug is the Moscow Mule served in? Y'all have fun with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So now, Moscow Mule, you're like, that's not a Southern drink, and you are most certainly correct. But you see, I am a vodka drinker and a tequila drinker, and so the sweet teas and the gin fizz and the mint juleps. The mint julep is really what we should be having, but I'm not into the bourbons and the whiskeys. So I'm going to tell you about the Moscow Mule. Also, we have the Choppin' Artillery Punch, which is well known. That's a signature drink in Savannah, Georgia.
Shannon Pickens joined you.
Hi, Shannon. How are you, Mike? Maybe you're there too.
And your nephew Luke Jacobs is on.
Hi, Luke. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Shannon and Mike are actually down in the South, so they're gonna be right on me to make sure I'm spot on with what I'm saying. So I was saying that I'm not making a typical Southern drink this evening. I'm going to be making the Moscow Mule. Little funny story about that. My friend who lives in Virginia Beach and is very Southern, and he's lived in many different Southern states over the years. He just turned 60, and I called him. I said, "Wow, Bill," I said, "I need a Southern drink for my live when I go on Friday," and I said, "It's vodka," and he drinks Jack and Coke with fresh mint, so that was out too because I'm not a Jack drinker. So he said, "How about a Moscow Mule?" And I said, "Fine." So I looked it up, and I've never had it before, but it requires these fancy copper mugs. That's the key. So the story, as it goes, is you have two gentlemen. You have John Martin back in 1940, who bought a vodka brand, and it was going nowhere. He was making no money. So he went and he decided to go to LA one day, and he gets there and he goes into a bar and he's talking to the bartender and he gets to know the owner. And the owner's name is Jack Morgan, and they're both boo-hooing because here you got John Martin who's got the vodka and he's not making any sales because back then everybody considered vodka something from Russia and it wasn't for them. And this gentleman, back in the day, Jack Morgan, was making the ginger beer. And the ginger beer back then was fermented, but now it is not. It's carbonated. So it's non-alcoholic. If anything, there's 0.5 in it, but they consider it a soft drink. So who got that right in the travel trivia? So they were at the Cock and Bull, which is the bar. And next thing you know, they're sitting next to the guy who's making the copper mugs, and they decided to put it all together. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to get our cocktails and get going. So if you're not into this, get whatever you drink, whether that's a wine or margarita, or maybe you're into the bourbons and mint juleps and you're having that. So I'm going to get the ice here and get going. Eric, why don't you do some trivia for us?
Sure thing, Miss Julie.
And how the trivia works, if you just joined us, is whoever gets it in the fastest and it's correct, then at the end and tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner of who got the most right the quickest.
Okay, y'all, here we go. Second round. This one's a true or false. True or false? Charleston boasts the first public college, museum, and playhouse in the U.S. of A. True or false? Charleston boasts the first public college, museum, and playhouse in the U.S. of A. Question number 2. In Charleston, a sea captain would spear a pineapple to his fence post to let friends know when he was home safely and to please visit him so he could regale his guests with tales of the high seas. What is the pineapple a symbol of today? All right, the captain speared it to his fence to bring his friends over so he could tell his tales. So the question is, what is that pineapple, or the pineapple, a symbol of today? Type it all in, y'all.
Do 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 do.
Rachel Cunningham joined you.
Hi Rachel, welcome. We're at our southern plantation. We're making a Moscow Mule drink right now, so we're getting our ice ready. And we're doing travel trivia, and whoever gets the answers in first and the most right will be the winner, and I'll announce it tomorrow.
Well, there's some tough competition going on with the typers.
Alrighty. So you got your ice. I'm putting it in a shaker, and I've got ice in. If you're making a Moscow Mule, you'll need the copper, which we ended up running out in a pandemic to buy last night, and it was slim pickings, but we found them, because that's what you got to have them in. So then next thing you know, there's 3 ingredients. You've got your vodka, whichever you choose to have. We're having Tito's tonight. Then you also have the ginger beer, which is carbonated and non-alcoholic. Eric also, because we're doing keto, decided to get the Reeds, which is no sugar. But I'm going to try the sugar tonight and then graduate over to that. So right now you want to get your vodka and get a shot, and it calls for a shot and a half of the vodka. So I'm going to do 3 since I'm making Eric and I. Where are y'all from? Tell me where you're from. Write in. Give me some sugar. Give me some likes and loves. I want to hear from you.
Rachel wants to know if we deliver.
I'll think about it, Rachel. I'll have to get back to you. Depends on how many Moscow Mules I have tonight. Oh, then we're going to do the ginger beer. And that calls for a half a shot. So I'm going to do 1 because I'm doubling it. Eric and I are both having. Woo! There you go.
Or she said she'd come for curbside pickup.
Oh, there you go. I don't blame you. Then you want 2 wedges of lime. I've got my lime here. And you can garnish. You can garnish with cucumber and a sprig of mint as well. So I'm getting all that yummy lime in there. And so Eric and I have been wanting to go to South Carolina, to Charleston. And so we reached out to Wild Bill, our friend, on his birthday. and we were checking in with him because we've never been there. And our friend, a mutual friend of ours, shake it up real good. Mutual friend of ours in Key West lived there. And so I figured because they were so tight that they had visited him a million times and he wouldn't be necessarily interested in going. But he said no, he'd only been there once, and it was recently coming home from Key West to Virginia Beach.
Gloria just joined us.
Hi, Gloria. Welcome. We're in the South tonight, and it's hot. It's 75, and we're at the plantation, and we're making a Moscow Mule. And so we're going to go ahead and garnish it with the cucumber. And then you also want to garnish it with the mint. Don't forget the mint. Get yourself a sprig. Ooh. What are you guys drinking tonight? What's in your cup? And here's the finished product. That's what it's going to look like. I got to have a sip before I go on.
Darling, may I come in for one?
You sure can.
Thank you, my dear.
Yours is a little short.
Much appreciated.
There you go. Cheers. Cheers. That is very good. So, little information on the drink is that the name was derived because vodka back in the 1940s, they used to think of it from Russia. So that's how it got the Moscow. And then the mule was because the ginger beer actually is a spicier ginger, and it gives a kick. So that's where the name Moscow Mule supposedly came from. That's how they came together with it. So moving on, we're going to get into the appetizer tonight. And I'll tell you a quick story. So we wanted to go to Charleston, and we called up Wild Bill, and we said, look, we want to go to Charleston. And then we also are excited because we thought about going to Nashville, Tennessee to see our girlfriend Melinda, a mutual friend of ours from Key West, and she also lived in Franklin, Tennessee. So now she lives permanently in Franklin, Tennessee. And so we're thinking about either doing Charleston, South Carolina, or going to visit her in Franklin, which is just outside of Nashville, and doing Nashville. So we're up in the air, but we're all excited about travel, and we're starting to plan and trying to decide when we're going and whether we're doing a road trip, flying, or exactly how we're getting there and what we're doing. So we're really excited and all fired up. So Charleston, I did a webinar this week with Virtuoso and was learning all about high-end Virtuoso properties there in the area. And it is wonderful. If you love culture and history and even beaches, they have beaches just outside of the historic district, about 45-minute drive, but there is a resort that's Virtuoso, and it's just about 2 miles outside of the district there, and you can take a ferry over, or they have a shuttle as well to get you to and from the downtown area, so you don't have to worry about driving and parking and everything. And so they are starting to actually right now starting to open up the restaurants and the stores in Charleston. So it is something that looks like the near future. And like I said, every area is being treated differently. Things could change, you know, if people aren't social distancing, it might change and have to revert backwards. But we're all of the mindset that we're moving forward and doing great. So anyway, Charleston, South Carolina, if you've been there, if you've lived there, let us know. And Nashville, Tennessee, because we're up in the air and we need a little guidance as to what you might suggest. They've got the golf there. They've got the arts there. You can even have private culinary experiences there. You can have your own private viewing at an art museum and do a wine tasting. I can set that up for you. So there's a lot of things to do and very cultural. They've got the horse buggy carriage rides. It's just charming. And the architecture there looks like it was just built today. It looks brand new, even though it's very old. They survived the American Revolution and the War of 1812, and so Civil War. They've been through a lot, but you'd never know that. It was one of the wealthiest, I think the first wealthiest colony.
Celeste said she stayed there, and it was great, and she actually had the opportunity to stay in a penthouse.
Ooh.
And Shannon actually says the indoor dining opened up on Monday.
Oh, nice. Thanks for sharing. I love it. And have you guys been to Nashville, Tennessee? Which would you prefer to go to? What do you suggest? Charleston or Nashville? Like I said, we're up in the air trying to figure out which one to do. So let's do a little more travel trivia. Here comes Sir Eric. And let me know where you guys are tuning in from tonight. I'm going to have another sip of my drink.
Thank you, sweetie.
Woo!
All right, my Moscow Mule's delicious. All right,
I think it's my new summer drink.
Round 3. You got to be fast on the keyboard with this one. What kind of dog is the mascot for the University of Georgia? What kind of dog is the mascot for the University of Georgia? All right. And the next one is, what is the state fruit for Georgia? I think there's a few songs about it. See y'all.
Who's the fastest typer? Because we know you know those answers. So next we're doing the Cajun shrimp appetizer tonight. And I love Cajun. I love spice. Give it to me now. I love it. And the South is known for collard greens and fried chicken and ham hocks and butter beans and all that good stuff. And grits and shrimp, my favorite. So we're doing the Cajun shrimp appetizer tonight. And I actually did it ahead of time. I'm just going to be assembling it, but I'll let you know. And I decided today that this is the way I'm going to be making my shrimp from now on. I took the cast iron pan and put the olive oil in there, about a tablespoon of the olive oil, and you put the 2 garlic cloves and you mince those, and you also want to use a tablespoon of the paprika, half teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of sea salt, and a teaspoon of the, these are half teaspoons I should say, of black pepper. And then you also do a tablespoon of the olive oil in there in the shrimp, and you mix that all up and get it nice. Or you can buy Cajun seasoning. Emerald makes a great Cajun seasoning if you just want the quick and easy. So you doctor it all up, put a little garlic on there if you're using the store-bought seasoning, and then you put it in your cast iron pan or whatever hot pan you got going on, and you want to get that oil hot first before you put the shrimp in. And then you put the shrimp in and you leave it for about 2 minutes per side before you switch it. And then you kind of gauge it as to, and you want to buy peeled, deveined shrimp.
What size shrimp? We have a question.
Large shrimp is what I used. And actually Eric bought jumbo, which didn't seem to me to be jumbo, but it said it was jumbo. But large, definitely large, because it's going to go on the cucumber slices. So you use about a pound of the shrimp, and it gives you, you buy 1 English cucumber, you get about 22 slices. I don't have 22 on here. This is probably about 10 slices here. And then you do an avocado spread, which you want to do one avocado, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but I doubled my recipe, and I think you should as well. And then you want to do basically about a half of a lime, but I used 1 lime because I doubled it. And then I threw a little cilantro in there as well. And then at the end, you garnish it with finely chopped cilantro as well. So we've got our avocado here, and we're just going to be putting it on the cucumbers. Tell me what you guys are snacking on tonight. Let's hear from you. Give me a little sugar with some likes and loves. And why don't we do a little more trivia?
Round 4?
Yeah, and then we'll just wait at the end to do the bonus.
Okay.
There'll be a bonus question at the end with the trivia. So if there's any tiebreakers that we need, because I know we got some experienced travel trivia people here.
Hi, y'all. Happy to be back with you. Here we go, round 4 of the trivia. Now, this one's going to be type on the keyboard real fast again. Name 2 movies filmed in Savannah, Georgia. Name 2 movies filmed in Savannah, Georgia. There's a couple real popular ones.
And what we'll do is we'll just fact find, because there's plenty of movies that were filmed in Savannah, Georgia. So we'll just fact find to see if the movies you plug in were actually filmed there.
And then the next question is, what famous movie character is quoted as saying, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know when you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get." Excuse me. Let me try that again. What famous movie character is quoted as saying, "Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get"? Yum. And we're going to hold off on the bonus? You want to know?
No, we'll do the bonus at the end.
All right. For all you tiebreakers.
So Eric and I, we talked about being out west last Friday at our party. And on our way home, we were doing a book on tape. And we were listening to Midnight Summer of the Garden of Good and Evil. Hope I got that right.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Yeah, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. There you have it. Midsummer's Night in the Garden of Good and Evil. There you have it. So we were listening to that, and we thought, I gotta have a piece of shrimp. It's so good. Best shrimp you'll ever have. I'm sorry. Sir Eric's feeling left out. Come on in, Sir Eric.
Where's your southern hospitality, my dear?
Southern belles are able to break the rules so long as their mama doesn't catch them. That's what I know.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Much appreciated. And it's delicious.
So here is the finished product of our Cajun shrimp appetizers. You have the Cajun shrimp on top of the avocado spread on top of the cucumber. So enjoy. And Mr. Eric, did you want a couple of these?
Oh, yes, please, my dear. Much greatly appreciated.
Keep him happy. You know how the men get fussing.
Thank you, darling.
There you go, sweetie. So we decided on our way home, we're listening to the book on tape back then, and we were listening to it, and all the places that were being discussed in the book were in Savannah, Georgia, and we had never been there. So off the highway, we went to Savannah, Georgia on the way home, just spur of the moment, checked in right down on the waterfront. And then what we did, it was lots of fun. We went around to all the places in the book, and then they made the movie. So that is a movie from Savannah, Georgia. Can't go typing it in now. They're already too late. Anyway, so we went around to all the places, and Clint Eastwood had filmed the film there, and it was lots of fun. And we also went to the Forsyth Park where Forrest Gump sat on the bench. Nether trivia there. And we got to go around, and we went to the diner to check where the guy had the little bottle of the arsenic, and he said, don't drink the water today because he didn't eat his food. If he doesn't eat his food, you don't drink the water because he might put the poison in the water that day. So all these fun little facts and all the places, they had the trolleys and everything going through. They've got the Spanish moss, and it is so charming and historic. And we did a house tour while we were there, and the architecture is beautiful, and the gardens are beautiful, and the Southern hospitality is just wonderful. Everybody wants to make sure that you have a cold beverage. So everybody, cheers! Take a sip of that cold beverage. Definitely my go-to, and this is going to be my party appetizer for the summer. It was quick and easy, and it is delicious. So I want to let you know, Savannah, Georgia is only 2 hours from Charleston. So what we might do is go to Charleston and then zip down to Savannah, because we did enjoy it thoroughly and wouldn't mind going back again. So it's very close. Or you could take the Amtrak, which is about $22 if you wanted to do the Amtrak. And you can travel around Amtrak this summer if once things are permitted and it's all okay to be traveling. So I can definitely keep you tuned to that. But anyway, these are things that you might want to put on your radar for either late this year or perhaps maybe even 2021, because they are wonderful places in the South and you're always welcome. So let's do our final bonus round this evening and then we'll be wrapping it up. I want to thank everybody. Here we go.
Thank you, sweetie. For all you fast typers, there's going to be a close call here. Here's the tiebreaker question. Bonus question. What city was the first game of golf played in the U.S. of A? In what city was the first game of golf played in the U.S. of A?
There you have it. So that's our final trivia, and then Eric's going to read the answers. So type in what you think the answer was to the bonus, and then we're going to follow up here with the final answers. And again, I'm Julie Johnston with Travel Light by JJ. Eric, would you come back, please, and announce our answers?
Certainly, dear. Question number 1 was, is ginger beer a soft drink today? The answer is today it is. Is ginger beer a beer or a soft drink today? The answer is today it is considered a soft drink. I apologize for my tongue twisting of my words.
Must be the mule kicking in.
The mule kicked me. All right. What type of mug is the Moscow Mule best served in?
That'd be the copper.
Copper.
And you gotta drink it out of the copper. It keeps it nice and chilled.
See it cool and condensed on the outside?
Yes.
Very nice. True or false? Charleston boasts the first public college museum and playhouse in the U.S. of A.
It'd be true.
True.
It'd be true. They bring the culture.
In Charleston, a sea captain would spear a pineapple to his fence post to let friends know he was home safely and to please visit so he could regale his guests with tales of the high seas. Question was, what is the pineapple a symbol of today? Hospitality. All right, next question. What kind of dog is the mascot for the University of Georgia? That'd be a bulldog. All right. What is the state fruit of Georgia? That'd be the peaches, Georgia peaches. Name 2 movies filmed in Savannah, Georgia. The top 2 that come to mind for us, and we're going to check to see the others, was Forrest Gump and The Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. There's many others, but we will fact check the answers. What famous movie character is quoted as, "Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to eat"? He also said, "My mama says dying is a part of life." But anyways, that was Forrest Gump. All right, the tiebreaker question was, what city was the first game of golf played in the USA? And the city was Charleston.
Charleston.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Miss JJ from Travel Light by JJ.
Thank you, dear. See you later on the porch when we can sit in our rocking chairs and enjoy these mules.
Oh,
woo!
we'll be swinging.
There you go. Can't wait. But I want to thank everybody to come into our plantation happy hour this evening for a little southern living. And like I said, it's finally 75 here today. We haven't seen them temps yet, so it was nice and warm. But my name is Julie Johnston with Travel Light by JJ, and I do a newsletter every other week. And if you'd like to sign up for that, you can go over to my website, which is Travel, T-R-A-V-L, light, like a light bulb, LIGHTBYJJ.com. And check me out for my travel services. And if you want to shoot me an email, I'm happy to connect with you and talk about future adventures and exciting travel and making memories to last for a lifetime. Love you all. Thanks for tuning in and hope to see you real soon. Bye, y'all.